have to say, since this phase, the tearing down phase with Trump Part 2, the spirit cookers are really showing their asses, like in a way they never did before. Like the it's honestly terrifying to me as an intelligent person who sees what's going on. Like the kind of shit CIA Tube is posting now and boosting is terrifying. You can see where the future is going. You can see what it's going to be like in America just by looking at these glimpses of CIA Tube and what they're trying to normalize. Like right now, my algorithm's showing me DoorDash videos. And the core message of these DoorDash videos is like, I can just see the future America. It's going to be like a third world country where the word liberalism doesn't exist. You can see that's what it's going to be like. You can see the spirit cooking Satanists that run us. They look at the country that's the most impoverished, the most abused, the most held down by gangsters, and that is their goal for all of humanity. Like I want you to imagine a country that's run by gangster mafiosos, where it's extremely unsafe for regular people, where they have nothing, where they're poor, where their lives don't matter, where children can disappear, where women can be abused and attacked, where this is just normal. There are countries like that. Imagine like the country with the worst human rights. That is the satanic spirit cookers elite dream for the whole world. That is what they're going to do to everyone else, uh, all over the world. And they want to kill people in the West, not just because of global warming, but because they want to wipe the slate clean of anyone with any idea of liberalism. And the most abused, most fucked country where people there fight to live, they don't have any concept of human rights. The entire society, the police are corrupt. They can steal their children. They can attack and kill a woman. It's all fine. There's no concept of it being any other way. That is their goal for the entire world. And you can really, really see this ever since Trump Part 2 on CIA Tube. It's fucking, as somebody who's smart and can make the connections and see the future, it literally turns my stomach. And I know they're going to succeed. By 2060, America is going to be like the most fucked up developing country. And it will just be normal. You can see the creep and what they're normalizing on these fucking platforms. Like, for example one, um, DoorDash completely violating the progressive movement, not having any benefits for workers, not having any protection for workers, and on a dime disposing of workers unfairly. This becomes viral and reframed on CIA Tube as Black people are inferior. I want you to think about that. Think about how they got a woman who works for DoorDash and she's terrified of losing her account because of bad customers. And they reframed rather than this is unacceptable. We had a progressive movement. They can't get away with it. They can't hire people and not give them health insurance. They can't fucking underpay people. And you can't just terminate somebody. We have labor laws. There's labor lawyers. Rather than that being the focus of the video, this woman saying, I hate black. She's black and she's saying, I hate black people. Black people are bad customers. And because of that, DoorDash is going to fire me. And this becomes viral. Now look at the trick. Rather than say, hey, wait a minute, these tech companies are destroying every concept of the progressive movement. They're destroying every concept of liberal rights. They're going to normalize a world where human life is completely disposable. There's no labor. The job of labor lawyer won't exist in the future because there won't be any laws. There won't be any protections for labor at all. It'll just be open. And rather than highlight DoorDash doing that if a customer is fucked up, they entirely just fuck with the livelihood of their worker who already has no insurance, who already has no benefits, no sick days. They're gig workers, gig economy. They just made that normal. Nobody protests. Gig economy. They went from full-time employees who don't have benefits to you work for the day and we get rid of you when we want. And in doing so, they have completely attacked workers' rights and any sentiment of progressivism. And Rather than people focus on that, like rather than this worker stand there and say, this is unacceptable. We got to do something in this country. We have to take back this country from these satanic billionaires. Instead, her focus becomes, I hate black people. They're N-words. Because of black people, DoorDash is mistreating me. And then, in addition to that woman who's black saying this, you have, I'm gonna call them coons. These fucking Uncle Tom ass coons who are getting a pound of head and a cookie for sucking billionaire dick. They all have the same costume. They all have a beard and shaved head. You know, they're all doing the Kanye thing. It's like the white ones dressed like Mar-a-Lago and the black ones all dressed like Kanye. And they're like, yeah, she's right. I hate black people. What the fuck? Like nobody sees what's going on, that they're converting this mega corporation that drinks baby's blood, Satanist trash bins, with making you convert all that into black people are inferior. And I guess that's your takeaway. Not that DoorDash is an abomination and gig work is an abomination, but black people are inferior because of black people. DoorDash has to kick her off the gig rotation. DoorDash episode part 2. This woman, this young girl, was sexually assaulted on the job. It is well established in forensic science that flashing is a sexual assault like crime, and it clusters with high probability of converting to rape or touching. Remember that UK cop, that crazy fucking guy? He was driving around to drive-throughs. Again, delivery workers flashing women, and then he randomly abducted one and killed her and raped her, right? Yeah, flashing is a sexual assault like crime. It is a sex offense. Sexual assault is any kind of sexual crime that violates rights, right? I don't know if the correct term for flashing is sexual assault, but it doesn't matter because it is a sex crime that clusters with sexual assault. Guys who like to flash would and could rape. And they often, after they get bored of flashing, they often escalate to raping and touching, right? So, yeah, it is a crime, right? And amazingly, probably DoorDash, again, the Satanists, reframed it that this woman's crazy and a criminal. They managed to convert this girl getting a sexual like crime done to her to she's crazy and a criminal. And they got the cops to charge her with 2 felony counts that can have up to 8 years in prison. And then they got all their ghouls, their flying monkeys, their ugly, disgusting inbred Satan fam to basically talk about her as if it's established she's a crazy criminal. And I want to remind you what happened was this girl was a victim of a sexual assault. They're bringing up irrelevant shit like she likes views, she likes attention online. So do a lot of young girls. I guarantee you, if you find, if you give me 20-year-old girls, they're going to have TikToks where they're doing crazy poses and looking sexy. That's just how the Zoomers are, right? That doesn't mean it's that we shouldn't care that she was flashed and it was probably upsetting. And flashers need to be dealt with because they are very closely related to rapists and often convert to being rapists. The number one crime, you can look this up. I did research on this. The number one crime that predicts rape is flashing, right? And the reason is that the thrill of a flasher gets is the non-consent, the horror and the unwanted attention of a woman he's forcing to look at her, which is very close related to the horror and the unwanted sex that they want to do, right? So it's absolutely related crime. The thrill is absolutely related. And DoorDash and the Satanists managed to make her look crazy, and they framed the sex offender as a victim because she posted his address online and his picture. I don't know about you, but if you're a rapist, if you're a sex offender, if you're a flasher, why is, like, again, this goes to show how the number one bias they leverage is misogyny. They'll call black people N-words, and they'll say white people are evil and should be burned at the stake, and they'll say Hispanics are lazy. But the one bias to unite them all is sexism. No matter what community, you're in for that, right? And you can see all the responses. You have black guys, white guys, Hispanic guys, pick me white girls, all ganging up on this victim, right? And That's why they leverage sexism so much, because it's such a useful bias, given it's held by a lot of women, almost all men, and every cultural demographic. And they managed to frame DoorDash puts women in unsafe situations into this bitch is crazy and a criminal and should go to jail. The poor flasher had his rights violated. I want you to think about if this was any other group other than females, young females being violated, would people say, "How dare you post the picture of the person who violated them?" No, they'd be like, "You deserve that. You deserve to be shamed." Right? You dox people for saying retard, right? But when it comes to like a crime that literally is closely related to rape, you're like, we got to protect his rights at all cost. And you're going into this narrative created by DoorDash, who then almost certainly went to the cops and told them to charge her to just cement this narrative that she's a crazy criminal when she's literally just some 20-year-old who was victimized. Yeah, it just goes to show what they want for us in the future. In the future, this is what the world's going to be like. Kids disappear, women completely unsafe and abused. Everyone's living in piss and shit. Um, it's going to be an unrecognizable society. It's going to be openly known we're run by gangsters. And not only that, but just like in those countries that are run by gangs and everyone lives in shit and everyone just tries to survive and they're living in survival mode day after day, people won't even think it could be different. It'll just be like normal. And that's what they want. That's what these videos serve, getting us to destroy the concept of liberalism that only ever had value for the weak, you know? And this is why they hate Christian, of all the organized religions, they hate Christianity the most because of all the emphasis of protecting the weak. To them, that's disgusting. It's an insult. They see themselves as gods. And that's why they hate Christianity most of all. And that's why they want to that's why their ideal society looks like a third world country that's run by literal gangs, where people have no rights at all and human life has no worth at all. And the only thing that has worth is connection to the mafia, right? And that's their goal for us. That's their plan. And I think they're going to succeed. And another utility of the Great Reset, the real Great Reset is going to be wiping out preferentially people who value liberal ideas, the idea of human life matters, because they're I can see it. I can see it so clearly looking at the shit CIA2 has been pumping since Trump. They want their ideal global society is like Haiti or something. Haiti is their goal. Like, not just poor, not just with nothing. Like, societies like Cuba, communist society, is poor, but they are pretty pro-social and they educate the people, but they're poor and stagnated. It's Haiti, a non-society run by gangs, where people live in terror, where violence is normal, where nobody thinks of human life, and it's almost like nature, like just like a cat in the yard doesn't expect their kitten's going to be there when they come back. It's not certain. That's the kind of life they want for all of you, and you're helping them because you're stupid and you don't realize, like, you people like you don't win in that. Like, the only people who benefit from lack of liberalism are evil elites, because the more that idea exists in society, the more they can't just crush, plunder, and abuse, right? And how you can be so stupid you think they're taking them with you versus exploiting your stupidity to sabotage yourself. The idea you could believe that. Watching these recent CA2 videos literally gives me chills, because I can just see America 2065 and it's like Haiti. Like, there's their goal. Like, a state run by gangs where there's just no pretense of any rule of law or anything. And you can see this creep. Like, I was thinking to myself, It's so evident we don't have free markets. It's so evident everything's rigged because at the point they are at now, they openly do spirit cooking shit that would be disastrous in a free market, and they just don't care. Because when you see what I see and know what I know, you realize like these words they use like CEO, capitalist, free market. They're 1984 like buzzwords so you can justify your slavery. And in reality none of it exists. Their money is an illusion. Their competition is fake. They literally totally control everything. And the control is so total, they have no remote fear of losing. Meaning, like, they're not afraid if they make bad choices in Roblox, a competitor will win. They're not afraid if they make bad choices for DoorDash, a competitor will win. There's no competitors. And because of that, because now we have like a communist like society where except the government and the committee, we're calling them CEO and we're calling them capitalists. They're not like without competition, there's no capitalism. It's just some sick form of communism without any good intentions. Since they have no good intentions and they're Satanists, the things they do with their total control of the market is stuff like, for absolutely no reason, legislate that women who get assaulted on DoorDash get called crazy criminals. Like they're literally making it, sending a signal to all the sex offenders. You can abuse with impunity. Just order DoorDash and grab her in the house, right? They literally want to make that because they're Satanists, because they're sadistic, weird Satanists. You know, the hacker group that works with them, their favorite hobby is raping women and children. Epstein is just a branch of what they're into, right? And by no means is it only Epstein. Epstein was like the scapegoat in a way. He's not innocent, but they make him the face of what happened just so you don't realize like they're literally all into this, right? And you can see that in these choices they make, like because we don't have capitalism anymore, because we don't have a free market, they don't fear losing. They don't fear that their bros at DoorDash are going to lose market share to some other competitor who takes security seriously. And so because we have like a communist society now, in that there's no competition, they're using words like CEO and capitalist and capital to gaslight you that you're already living in communism. Except unlike the communist revolutions where there were some people in there who truly believed in making a more equitable world, none of these people believe that. They literally enjoy torturing humans, especially girls and women. And if they have a choice between not torturing and torturing, they will always choose to torture. So that's why you see them making these moves up on their communist departments, like Department of Child Entertainment, Roblox, Department of Food Addiction, DoorDash. For no reason, they're making these moves that would be disastrous in a free market, but they don't have a free market. But what they are good for is the spirit cooking value. Knowing that you just signal to the world rapists and abusers can trap girls on DoorDash, and we'll call you the victim. We'll call her crazy and charge her with felonies if she says anything. Knowing that the Department of Child Entertainment, we might as well use commie terms because that's what's going on. In the Department of Child Entertainment, for absolutely no reason, they boost pedophiles. In a free market, that would be disastrous. This is a game for children. Families would be like, I'm going to a competitor. There's no competitor because there's no market. There's no free market. We're already living in communism. It's just there is no word for the kind of control these people want. I think many of them come from the communist world and they're used to this, like Sergey Brin. Many of these people that rule these companies are literally commies, but they don't even pretend to want to control everything to fairly redistribute it. They want to control everything just to do weird random evil. Yeah, that's their highest goal. Their highest goal is like poking someone's eyes out, specifically a woman or a child, just to watch it bleed. That's their highest aspiration in life. And that's why when you see the direction they're taking their companies, these moves are disastrous in a free market. What's the market share of rapists? 1%, 2%, 3%. What's the market share of women? 55%. What's the market share of pedos? 1%, 2%. What's the market share of families on Roblox? 100%, pretty much. They don't fear losing. And so they're free to make these things in their image, how they would want them to look, not caring like what's going to sell, what's not going to sell. And this is what they want. They want a delivery service where rapists can just drag women to the house. They want a video game where kids are innocently talking like, "Hey, thanks for giving me that thing in the game," and they're like sending them dick pics. That's the world they want. They're making their apps in their image because they don't fear failure because there's no competition. Just like in a communist society, if the government shoes suck, there's nothing you can do about it. You can really see at this point, given there's no competition and they're free to mold the world in their image, they literally, their ideal society is like Haiti plus Epstein's dungeon. They're at home in Epstein's dungeon. That's their apex. Like a place where human beings are tortured, especially girls and children and women. Nothing thrills them more. Because you could like imagine you're free from constraints of public demand because you now have a communist like society where you're not beholden to any free market and consumer choice. So everything you choose to do is what you want. We can see the results as there's no more competition now. Um, they want just constant harm and abuse. It literally, they get a spirit cooking high out of it. Yeah, the future is going to be a nightmare, bro. Oh my God. And CIA Tube is not even trying to hold back what they're really into. And these monolith companies that are basically communist committees at this point, um, destroying our society is converted into black people are inferior and rape victims are crazy criminals. That's some wild shit. Oh my God. Having a kid, I mean, I have nieces. I feel so bad for them. I don't know how anyone could have a kid. You know, like every generation, but it's for real this time. Millennials were the last generation. I believe that. We were the last generation at any fucking chance and it started to suck for us. But these new generation, oh my God, I feel so bad for them.